Hey everybody, welcome to week 5. All right, week 5, week 6, week 7, week 7.5, half week, and then you're done. All right, that's really 3.5 weeks, not even, just a little bit less, and then you're done, and then you graduate. This is pretty impressive, right? I know some of you aren't graduating because you have a couple more terms left. I get it, but for the most part, for most of you, this is it, folks. This is wonderful. So let's buckle down. Let's make sure that we're following all directions, that we're finishing all assignments, that we're finishing them, according to the rubric or fully according to the instructions, and just finish as strong as possible. Again, 3.5 weeks, very, very short period of time left, which is exciting. So what are we talking about this week? Well, in discussion, we're going to be talking about a subject that's often overlooked, but is used increasingly now, and that's going to be pre-employment testing. There's all sorts of different kinds of pre-employment testing. There are some things that are specific to a kind of job or to a kind of industry. There are other things that are really just there to test you in terms of soft skills and what kinds of soft skills you have. There are other pre-employment tests that are almost like psychological tests to see if you have kind of the mental fitness or the psychological makeup necessary to do a certain kind of job. I've taken a bunch of these tests over the years for a variety of different positions, everything from tests on how to use Microsoft Office products to kind of psychological evaluations for graduate school, which is not uncommon, those of you who want to go on to graduate school. So there's a wide variety of different tests. You're going to be researching these and kind of understanding why they're important. You're actually going to take a couple and you're going to talk about those. That's going to be in discussion. I'll have more to say there. Then we're going to be talking about financial literacy. Financial literacy is another subject that far too often colleges don't bother talking about. And we really need to talk about this, in large part because, well, student loan debt is a massive issue in America right now. It's trillion-dollar debt when you look at it as a whole. And that's a problem because a lot of students, a lot of people graduate, have these degrees, and they have no way of paying it back. And that's one thing that we try to avoid here. Yes, many of you take loans, but you're going into careers where the likelihood of getting employed, getting hired is much higher. The likelihood of being able to earn a good paycheck, more than whatever you're making right now, is much higher, so that you can start planning ahead, paying down loans, saving for retirement and for your kids' college funds and all sorts of things. So we're going to do 2 assignments this week in which you will discuss and research and discuss financial literacy. It's really specific to you. You have loans. For most of you, you have loans. How are you going to pay them back? Do you know how much you have? Do you know how you're going to go about doing this? So there's some information that you're going to be looking at, and that's going to help you have a better understanding of what needs to be done for you going forward, especially after graduation, when you need to start paying these loans back. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be talking about pre-employment testing, and then the capstone project. The instructions are there. That does not mean that it's due now. It's due at the end of week 7. But you need to get working on this now. And so we've been doing these little kind of assignments along the way to get you prepared for the big capstone project. The instructions are right there. It's a video project. You need to do a video of yourself. Now, if you're unable to do that for whatever reason, you can do a PowerPoint, but it must have a voiceover. You're not going to get full credit for that because the video is really what you are required to do. Now, if you don't do a video and you don't do some sort of audio portion, it's going to hurt your grades significantly. So you need to make sure that you have that portion. Ideally, it's going to be video. If not, PowerPoint and an audio. But the instructions are there. Start working on this. And yes, have somebody, at least one person, look this over. Somebody in career services, it could be a friend of yours, it could be a colleague, it could be a family member, a trusted family member. It doesn't matter to me as much, but I want someone to be looking this kind of stuff over. This is very important. This is the project for this class and frankly for all your classes coming before it, because this is where you're going to speak to your program outcomes, to your institutional outcomes and how you've met those. So a lot going on this week, but a lot of interesting things too. So get into discussion as soon as you can, start working through some of those assignments, and let's have some fun doing what we're going to be doing this week. Thanks, folks.